Hello, welcome to, oh, I have that on my head again. There we go. The lamp, it's on my head. Welcome to Louise Hay's Trust Life. Feng Shui, right? There we go. The lamp is not on my head now. I'm picky. What can I say? So, Louise talks today about, this is actually yesterday's, but I had things to do and was engaged in some healing practices yesterday. So I didn't make the time to come on here. But yesterday's was too good to leave in the book. She says, I live in a friendly universe. Is life happening for me or is life happening to me? Because if life is happening to us, we're victims all the time. If life is happening for us, then we are engaged with a friendly universe that is teaching us and mentoring us. We're away at boarding school. That's the way I always put it. We're away at boarding school and we're learning all kinds of really cool stuff. So I'm going to read this for you. I live in a friendly universe. What do you think about the friendly universe idea? Robert Holden asks Louise. She pauses for a moment as she lets the question sink in. I think it's a good idea, she says with a smile. Is the universe friendly? He asks Louise. There's only one way to find out, she says. What way is that? Say yes, she says with a smile. What do you mean? If you answer no, you'll never find out if the universe is friendly. Because if you say no, you won't see it. Exactly. But if you say yes, then you might. It's all in the answer. The answer is in us. I want to just relate that to when Stuart, my husband, asked me to marry him just over 20 years ago now. I had some trauma from relationships before. We all have trauma. And I was terrified, quite frankly. Still am in many ways, but I was terrified. But I also knew that I needed to be able to say yes, to be able to explore the possibility of creating a life with him. If I said no, then I would always be looking for the reasons why I shouldn't. But I said yes, and in my own mind, I said, I can always get out of this. But it wasn't an idea of, oh, I'll say yes and I'll manipulate him. It was I'm going to say yes to this, and then I'm going to explore it deeper with that yes commitment and see what I can do and see what I find that has it work. Well, 20 years later, it's still a yes. And I'm learning, I'm growing. There's lots of things that have been expanded in me because of that yes. And because of the yes, I looked for reasons to continue the yes. So as we look at the universe and we receive things that don't feel like yeses, this is where the tapping comes in. Because there are things that happen to us, and let's put the to and the for together. Because as things happen to us, they actually happen for us. And so we can use the experiences that we have, the ones, like right now, I live in Canada, and right now in BC, this massive flooding. Did anybody specifically do that to them? No, for whatever reason, tons of rain fell, tons of landslides happened. The whole big city, multi-million population city is cut off from the rest of Canada by land. Did that happen to us or for us? To them or for them? So as we look to what is going on there that is good and it is right, we can see how things happen for us, even in the midst of things that are happening to us. As we choose to see the lessons and choose to find the nuggets within all of the experiences, then we see the friendly universe, even in the midst of things that don't feel so friendly. And how can we process that when we're full of this stuff? Well, we can tap, we can bounce, we can do the qigong, we can be in the moment, we can breathe, we can set the priorities. And as we set those priorities of, I am going to breathe in this moment. Oftentimes I'm often guided to the thought of when there's difficulty, and I live with a family and I've got children, I've got a husband, I've got extended family. When there's difficulty that's happening to me, How do I treat the people around me? Because if I take that difficulty that's happening to me and say, oh, I was so stressed and that's why I got grumpy with you, or that's why I chewed your head off, then that's just an excuse. But if we can take those extremities of things that happen to us, and in those extremities, look at the people around us that are the most important and treat them with love and kindness and respect despite what's going on inside of us. And sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I'm not. But as we feel that and tap on that, and even though, so let's say you yelled at your kid, or you had a big rip-snorting fight with your husband. Even though I had this big fight with my husband, I am a good person and I love and accept myself. Even though that was a pretty intense activity, even though I was so angry, and really blow up in the tapping part, even though, and really expand that, feel that deeply and fully. Even though I was so mad, and if you have to swear, swear. I'm on I'm on public media, so I'll try not to, but sometimes that's the only word that really gets to the depth of that feeling. And so, even though, blah, whatever it is, I am a good person and it is okay to feel exactly how I feel. And as we do that, as we feel what we feel, and maybe don't say it and put it onto somebody else, but feel it and tap it, we have it move through us and release and goes back to the universe. And then with the next breath, we're saying, I'm a good person and it's okay to feel how I feel. We're validating ourselves. We're validating our feelings. We're validating our emotions. And we're forgiving ourselves, even though I yelled at my kid, even though I hit my kid. I'm a good person and it's okay to feel how I feel. And so as we do that and as we release those feelings, we're able to then bring in a higher action. We're able to then bring in a release, and we can come back into that loving space. And so the tapping and the bouncing and the breathing deep, really helps settle us and bring us back into the present. And the present is the only moment we have, and that's why it's such a gift. I think of my sister when I hear that phrase. And so as we practice these things, is the universe friendly? Does it bring me information that teaches me and helps me to spiral upwards on a constant basis? And if it is, then I am in the right place at the right time, always. Namaste. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.